Southern tip of Central America, just north of Colombia, Panama is a small nation with a population of about 3.6 million according to the CIA World Factbook. We gave Panama a 2.5 out of 5 on our scale of evaluating sources of power. Unemployment is relatively high in Panama, with 14.6% according to the CIA World Factbook, making it 87th in the world. Also, the urbanization rate is higher than most Latin American countries, with about three-quarters of Panama's population living in urban areas. The Panama Canal is a linchpin when it comes to economic prosperity within the nation, both internationally and internationally. For example, in 2007 there was started an 8-year, $5.7 billion project to expand the Panama Canal, making it better for ships and more ships to pass through it. And this project is in its last year, 2015, this year. And while the end of this project will see economic prosperity for Panama in terms of ships passing in and out of the canal, the end of the construction project will leave many Panamanians and unskilled laborers out of work. Education is also a major key factor that lies within this country getting out of its turmoil. Only 3.5% of Panama's GDP, according to the CIA World Factbook, is spent on education, and 10 to 15% of the GDP is spent on Panama's construction project to expand the canal alone. And if there is not a young and educated and trained generation in order to lead Panama into the upper echelon of the world stage, it will fall behind in the years to come.
Panama has an extremely high potential within their country. However, this potential is latent, it's dormant within Panama. Panama is miles ahead of other Latin American countries, but it is still far from being perfect. According to the CIA World Factbook, 26% of the population is below the poverty line, and that should not be the case. Also, according to the CIA database, their GDP is $61.54 billion, and they are estimated by NPR to make more than $300 million from their control of the Panama Canal. So their potential power resides solely in the Panama Canal. The U.S. has supported Panama by handing them full control of their canal. However, Panamanians still protest and hate American involvement in Panama whatsoever, no matter how small it is. There are protests of anti-American sentiment by small groups at the University of Panama as well as the Panamanian National Assembly. And it's actually advised that Americans do not attend these protests because they are in quite a lot of danger. Also, leadership has been corrupt in Panama, according to NPR. The rich have remained rich, and the poor have remained poor. During the past presidency of Ricardo Martinelli, Panama City, the richer, wider part of Panama, has grown richer, while the Panamanians who live in the poor black part of Panama, called Colon, are poor, and they continue to be poor. 40% of that population is unemployed, and one out of 5 children who live there are in poverty, and 1 out of 5 children who live there also die of malnutrition. Panama has a new leader and a president named Juan Carlos Varela, who hopes to have a cleaner and more transparent government, according to NPR. And now, to finish up our presentation, I would like to talk about Panama's decision-making process and what we found it to be. Our decision-making process is a pluralist because we are a constitutional democracy, which makes our bargaining more used. Drugs, crime, and lack of education are all causes that different groups take up and try to fight and advocate for. But Panama must decide and prioritize which groups they'll listen to and which problems they will actually they'll actually attack and attempt to fix and mend so that they can make Panama a better country. And that is the ideal of a pluralist. Thank you.